Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Monday Morning Motivation. And as we always love to say, thank you for not making excuses and being here with us early in the morning, no matter if you're on the metro, in the car, having breakfast, or you're already at workplace. So we're excited to have you and especially Simon here, who's with me actually based in Shanghai. He's going to speak about an interesting topic that I never really thought about, like followership. Why learning how to follow is important. I didn't even think about this earlier. So yeah, in case you're new to Monday Morning Motivation, we have a Chinese speaking group chat, and then we have 7 English speaking group chats. The QR code does not work of the English speaking group chat, so you can add me on WeChat in case you are not on in a group chat yet. Yes, Marina, I think it's a beautiful sunny morning. I agree with you. So Monday morning is all about healthy habits, self-development, and most important, starting positively and motivated in a new day and week, right? That's why we have a great speaker today. And in case you ever miss some webinars, you are the second group now who I'm telling this. We are changing the membership program. It was a little bit complicated back in the day. So now we have decided how to make it easier, more accessible for you guys. This week, we will send out a new newsletter with the discounts to our partner programs, but also with the updated links. So it's easier for you guys to access all of the recordings, whether it's Chinese recordings, English recordings of, more than 2.5 years. And here's the good news. For the 400 RMB that you guys are paying, yes, it's not for a year, but for a lifetime. So you have access to all the recordings all the time. So I hope that this is pretty exciting news. It's gonna get easier and you get more recordings basically for a lifetime. So yeah, if you ever miss a webinar, it doesn't matter, we got you covered. Scan the QR code to become a member. We have our great book. If you ever need a nice present or an e-version of it, we have lots of motivational quotes in it. You can scan the QR code. And last but not least, if you love what we're doing, because we're doing this voluntarily, why not donate? And you know, we always give 50% to the 1 Million Tree Project. We just we just sponsored 120 trees about a month ago. And last but not least, this is our lineup for this month. So as I said, on Wednesdays, we have Chinese webinars, and on Mondays, they are in English. Okay, Simon, the stage is yours. I look forward to your session again. And guys, after 20 minutes, you can ask Simon lots of questions and so on.
Thank you, Janine. And good morning to everyone. Hello, and thank you for dialing in. And big thanks also to the Monday Morning Motivation community to have me here. My name is Simon Mlynek. By the way, because I dial in with 2 different devices, if you want to see me, just pin me on your screen. Yeah, my name is Simon Mlynek, and originally I'm from Germany, Berlin, and I live in Shanghai now since 4 years. I studied in Beijing. Now I'm located in Shanghai and work for a biotech company. So we help companies to produce mainly vaccines, for instance, the COVID vaccine. I am an NLP coach as well. And I'm also very passionate about dancing, salsa dancing and kizomba dancing. Salsa, maybe all of you know. Kizomba is also a social and partner dance from Angola. And in both of these dances, it's really important that you know how to follow. And learning or mastering the skill of following makes you the best in this particular discipline in dancing. So I think following is something that is not discussed enough, or that many people are not really aware of. So I thought we're going to talk about this today. And due to the time, there will not be a training. We will not learn how to follow, also because we follow in different disciplines. We all come from different perspectives and are in different positions. But what I would like to do in the next 20 to 30 minutes is first, let's settle into this beautiful Monday morning. Let's take a step back. Maybe some of you guys are already in 4th or 5th gear, and some of you barely can open their eyes. So maybe we do a little meditation to settle in, buckle in, get some safety for the rest of the day. And following the meditation, I would like to just raise the awareness of this topic of followership and why it's actually important that we also not only look on the one side, which is leadership, which is also very important, but also pay more attention to followership and when it makes sense to step up as a follower. And then last but not least, I would like to provide you guys with a little voice, a little guy that sits on your shoulder and speaks up in certain situations and says, hey man, maybe this situation is not as bad as you think. Maybe you can reframe it. Maybe you can think about it a little bit differently, and you have the chance to look more positively on the situation. If this is cool with all of you guys, then open your chat and then type a 1, just like this. Type a little 1, so I know that you guys are still with me or already with me. I see Katie Glass is ready, Arete is ready, Petra is ready, iPhone is ready. That's good. If you guys are not ready yet, just go along with it and you will become ready. So now I hope you guys can hear the little sound in the background as well. Perfect. So before we start the day, you can do this meditation with your eyes open or with your eyes closed. But I encourage you to just take a step back. I might close my eyes here as well. Take the next few minutes just for yourself. Maybe you give yourself a little hug. And we start with a deep breath in through our nose. And we exhale through the mouth. We breathe in through our nose. And we exhale through the mouth. Take the deepest breath you took so far. Keep breathing, and while you're listening to my voice, you relax. You relax your shoulders, you relax your torso. You can feel the ground and your feet standing or touching the ground. And while you're listening to my voice, you let yourself go and you relax. You let yourself fall deeper and deeper and deeper. And you realize that the whole beautiful day, this beautiful sunny Monday, is still ahead of you. And you realize that this whole beautiful day is there for you to experience life. Wow. Today you're gonna experience life with all its different facets. Beauty, ugliness. There might be joy, there might be sadness. There might be challenges, or success stories, but you have the chance to experience all of it. And with this realization, I would like you guys to slowly, very slowly come back into this Zoom session. Open your eyes, but take your own time to come back into this room and talk with me about something that I call followership. So what is followership? Why do I want to talk about it? We all know about leadership, I guess. And a quick question to all of you. If you stumbled across any courses, classes, trainings regarding leadership recently, then type a number 2 in the chat, just to check if you're still there, or maybe you fell asleep again during the meditation. All right, a lot of 2s. That's great. Perfect. This is not a surprise. Let's see how many of you stumbled across any topics regarding followership or learning how to follow. If you did, then type a 3. So as we can see here already, there's a huge discrepancy between what we see, what we can learn, and the overall offer about leadership to followership. Being a team member, that comes close to it as well. And if you look up in Google, the question was, how many of you stumbled across any classes, courses, or concepts regarding followership lately? If you did, type a 3. And even if you go into Google and type in leadership, you will find 13 billion entries, which is a lot. And if you type in followership, you only find 1.3 million. So you find 9,000 times more entries for leadership than followership. And it makes sense to a certain degree, because leadership is very attractive, it's very marketable, and it's something we all strive for, because there's a lot of positive attributes written all over leadership: social status, financial reward, influence, power, purpose, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I encourage all of you guys to step up your game and become a leader. But however, I also question to a certain degree, why is there so little about followership? And I can understand it when it makes sense for monetary purpose to promote leadership, like in an MBA. But in some organizations, speaking about my organization, for instance, but others as well, I see leadership trainings, but I don't see many trainings for followership. And when you could argue there's as many followers in an organization, if not more, than leaders actually. And if you look at it, at leaders and followers as experts in a way, like for instance, a Formula One pit stop. Let's take a Formula One pit stop, and you're the director of the Formula One pit stop. And usually there's 12 people changing the tire and 2 people who lift up the car. So I think it's naturally you would offer more trainings regarding how to change a tire than how to lift up the car. So I would expect the same for companies, because in the end, yes, you have a leader, and we also want to promote leaders and make better leaders and look for leaders in ourselves. But often we are not only leaders, but also we are followers. So we need some guidance, we need some practical examples on when to step up as a follower and what it means. And for me, it was kind of important, or I saw a problem with not being able to step up as a follower when I had a project 2 years ago in my company, and I was working with a colleague, and she was the project lead. And I was longer in the company. I went through more stations within the company. So it was difficult for me to accept her as a leader. And it was difficult for me to trust her as a leader. So I challenged a lot of the things she did. I was in meetings and I always looked for something better to say when she was mentioning a certain strategy or an approach. And also probably, yeah, my ego came into play here and said, hey, why is she in place? You are longer in the company, so she cannot have the knowledge. There's no way she's capable of doing this job. So it was very exhausting to always challenge her, and I wasn't really at peace with myself. And there were others in my team who were as similar as me. So it made the whole project very difficult and very hard to move forward. And she could feel it, obviously. So she could feel it, and it was not a high performing environment. And actually, a little bit of a mind shift came when I was watching an online game. It was a competitive professional online game where 5 people played against 5 other people. The game is not so important. It was a fantasy game where each player controls one character, and it's 5 versus 5. And one of these players, let's call him Mr. Thumb, he's supposed to step up as a leader in this game. This game lasts 20 to 40 minutes. They played on a huge stage for a lot of money, and also it was some final of a championship. And this Mr. Thumb, he was supposed to step up as a leader and carry his team to victory. Now, it turned out that this guy, Mr. Thumb, he wasn't able to step up as a leader. He wasn't able to carry his team to victory. And usually what players do in this position, when this happens, they very quickly give up because they only see their own performance. They only see, if I do not perform well, then there's no chance my whole team can still win. So they get frustrated. They maybe even start to blame and look for mistakes by their teammates. But what the professional player did, he paused his mindset and he thought, okay, what can I do differently? So he zoomed out, he stepped out, and he looked at the whole team. He looked at the team and thought, who's capable of stepping up as a leader? If I'm not capable, maybe someone else is capable. And he saw someone else, and someone else stepped up as a leader. So he shifted his mindset to become a follower in this situation, which also meant for him to change the strategy in the game. He bought different items, he positioned himself differently, he used different skills, and so on. But by shifting his mindset and looking at the bigger picture instead of only his own performance and his own ego, he actually contributed as a follower to the success of the team, because in the end, this team was winning. And even the commentators who were commentating in this huge arena were fascinated by this people's shift of mindset. And I thought it was very fascinating. And the funny thing is, after I watched this, just very recently, I had another project with the same person I didn't accept 2 years ago. So I took this concept and I looked at it and said, okay, this time you're going to approach this very differently. And first of all, I looked at the fact that this person was chosen by people to become a project leader. She was chosen by capable people who trusted her to be able to fulfill this role as a leader. And she, after 2 years, she was still in place. And there must be a reason for that. There must be a reason her team grew and that she's still able to push other projects. So I started to trust the decision that someone put her in place. So you can start to trust if a coach nominates a certain player to be as a captain, there must be a reason for it. So I trusted this. And the second point was that even I'm knowledgeable on this field that I'm running this project on, I might be not as knowledgeable as her. So I accepted the fact that in this position, she is more knowledgeable. I have my skills that nobody else maybe has. So, but in this place, I'm a follower. So I accepted the fact that I'm a follower and I try to do my best to support her. And the last point is that I use this opportunity to learn from her, to learn skills that she might have that I don't have. So it's trust, acceptance, and learning. And with this approach, this whole project was so different to what it was 2 years ago. I was very much at peace with myself. The meetings went super smooth. And she could feel it. She could feel it, of course. So she was also supportive in her way of getting me into the topic and so on. And it's much more fun than what it was 2 years ago. So by shifting my mindset here, just as the professional player, I was able to reframe it and make the best out of the situation and accept her as a leader. Yeah, and this is what I would like to share with you guys, to be able to maybe to look at some situations where maybe your colleague that you don't even like personally, maybe gets promoted over you. Maybe, just maybe, there's a reason to it, and maybe you can find some positivity in it and learn from this person and step your game up as a follower, because at some point you will become a leader as well. And then you know, and you have the skills of a follower as well. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, dear Simon. Happy to hear that. And now, as we're both dancers and we're both dance salsa, kizomba, we have this passion. I mean, you're the man, you're the leader. I'm the woman, I'm the follower, unless a woman dances with a woman, right? So are there any examples you can share with us when it comes to followership in dancing, for example? Because mostly, especially as a man, you're not used to following because you're the person who has to lead and multitask, which is not really easy.
Yeah, thanks for this question. And what I realized after dancing, now I dance almost 2 years, after I barely made it as a leader, I started also to check how it feels like to be led. So even if you're a leader in dancing, I can highly recommend to also attend some classes as a follower. And it actually changes your whole game, because we don't have any idea what it feels like to be led when you're just leading in social dance. So when I was attending some classes and I learned how to follow, it also gave me better perspective and an idea on how to lead people. And I think actually it works the other way around, if we want to stay at social dancing, that if you're a follower in social dancing, I would also recommend to take some classes as a leader. It's often important that you have the skills and the understanding of both sides.
Very good advice. Okay, guys, now this is up to you. You can share any kind of questions. You can unmute yourself. You can use the chat. I already see some messages here in the chat. Do you want to go through this yourself, Simon?
Yes, absolutely. Never, but okay. We have teamwork. We have a leader without a follower. Then he or she is not a real leader. That's very true. Regardless of a leader or follower, if you have no influence, then all is zero. I like that because you also can influence a lot as a follower. There is a funny video clip on YouTube how to start a movement. And the important part of how to start a movement is actually not the first person, the leader, but it's actually the second one. And you can check it on YouTube, how to start a movement. Very interesting. So you even influence as a follower. So thank you for this, David. Skills and capability, trust may be something we all need to nurture and develop in our life and work. Absolutely. Trust in the end, acceptance, and learning is also what makes a high performing team, I think. If you accept your leader, your team captain, this is where the trust and the also vulnerability is in the end what makes a high performing team, I think. Any other questions, any comments?
Yes. Actually, I have another question until the others raise their questions. Do you have like any platforms, books, podcasts you recommend where we can learn about followership? Because the funny thing is really, I never thought about this. As you said, yeah, it's about leadership. I would Google leadership, but is there something for followership that you can recommend?
I do not have any books in mind. There's a few articles I can share in the WeChat groups after this. But again, as you said, I also have never thought about it. So when I started my research, there is things out there, but it's definitely not as populated as topics on leadership. But I can share some articles and links, also some interesting videos I found during my research in the WeChat group.
iPhone is raising your hand.
Let's go.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much for sharing. I just wanted to know, what would you say is the difference between what you said as a followership and a good team member?
All right, thank you. I think it's very much related. I think it depends on what position the team member has. Team member can also be the leader. Let's say team member as a follower, then the team member for me is very much equal to follower, unless the team has no leader. You know, these agile teams, I would say, there are some agile teams that don't have a leader, or the leadership hierarchy is very low. And then I think it's expected from the team member to be pretty much both. In certain situations, they would step up as a leader, while in other situations, they would step up as a follower. So I think it depends a little bit on the hierarchy, how huge are the hierarchy gaps. But if you have the classical hierarchy of having one leader and then team members, I think the team members are very much the same as a follower.
Okay, thank you. Actually, that's what I was thinking. Maybe there's not a lot of articles in Google or like about followership, because maybe the what we would be searching is like what is it to be a team member, or what is it to be a good team member, or teamwork. Maybe there's more trainings about this, because we assume that like everyone has to work in team, like even from before they had leaders, and maybe to be a leader was more difficult. That's why there's training about this. It's just a thought.
Yeah, and maybe in the end, it's not so much about how we word it. If you call it team member, if you call it follower, it's more about the attributes and the skills that you need to be part of a high performing team or of any team, which comes to, for me, to accepting the other team members trusting them, trusting their capabilities, and learning from each other.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Check the chat. Tatiana has another question.
Yes, do you think followership mindset should be initially pre-framed by a leader for his or her team? Wow, that's a very good one. And I think what a leader should do, I don't know if pre-framed, but a leader should definitely, like, let's say we have a leadership training. I think in every leadership training, there should be one part that deals also with followership and how you strengthen a follower in your team and how you give your teammates the possibility to step up as a follower and be seen. Like, if I take the example of this computer game, the other teammates, they could easily blame this person for not stepping up as a leader. But one of these players, he stood up as a leader, and he could still be blaming this other guy that he's underperforming, which influences the whole team performance. But as a good leader, he should recognize that this guy just shifted his mindset. And this does a lot to the mental situation of this guy who just shifted his mindset. Imagine you shift your mindset, you're proud of yourself, that you step up as a follower, and then you get rejected by your leader for doing that, and you get not recognized. This would feel very bad, and it would definitely have an impact on your motivation. So I think the leader should definitely frame in a certain way, or give the team members the possibility and the visibility to step up as a follower. I'm not sure if this completely answered your question, but this came up to my mind when reading it. So thank you for that.
Pretty deep topics here today. Okay, that's the last chance to ask a question to Simon.
I'm not sure if iPhone is the same, but I take David. David,
right.
Please.
Hi, Simon. Thank you for your talk and the presentation. And I think leadership and followership are very good topics because in reality, they are coexist. You know, you can't talk one without the other. Why a lot of training programs focus too much on the leadership, forget the followership, the importance of teamwork, trust, and the communication or listening, you know, those kind of skills. I think though everything is relatively speaking, you know, there's like a coins always have two sides. You can't talk one without the other. But again, everything is also very temporary. So in one role you can be leader, but on the other role you are also a follower. So a good leader must be a very, very good follower too, because you need to listen what the others say. Then you can lead better. So to be a better follower, you can be a better leader. That's all I want to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Couldn't agree more.
All right, everybody.
We still have iPhone. Do we have time for iPhone's question?
I think Rosaline already spoke, right? Or did you have another question?
It might still be the same
No,
hand
I
raising.
spoke already. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't
All
go
right.
out.
Yes.
But thanks,
Awesome.
David, for your comments.
This is our lineup for Wednesday in Chinese, Monday in English. If you want to join us again, Simon is in all of our WeChat groups. So if you want to connect with him, he's going to share a bit later on. Thank you so much, Simon, for your time. I know you normally work quite late in the evenings, but you still made it to get up early just for us. Basically, you did not make excuses, as our slogan says, stop making excuses, right? Thank you for your time, everybody. Start implementing the new ideas, the new knowledge you got, and yeah, maybe tell somebody else about it. What is it that at least is one thing that you learned from Simon that you want to start implementing? Because otherwise you'll forget about it and then you won't really take advantage of it. So Simon, thanks for your time. Guys, thanks for joining. Happy Monday.
Thank you, guys.
Go out there, be motivated and inspired. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.